Welcome to FreightWaves Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming live to you from Transparency 19, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Georgia International Convention Center. We're so excited, we just can't hide it. So many things have been happening already today. But what we're going to do for you right now, behind some of the biggest screens that you've about ever seen, we are going to bring you some tribal market knowledge, starting with the weather and Nick Austin, followed by Zach Strickland, bringing us some freight market updates, and also Dean Croak, bringing us the things that he brings, hours of service, flexibility, and anything having to do with driver data and how we can make trucking cool again, I'm sure. So Nick, what do we got?
We have some brand new features in SONAR. This is really exciting stuff, some fabulous new features, particularly the critical events feature. First, I want to talk about the weather that's actually going to be happening today in the United States, especially out in the plain states again. More threats for severe weather, tornadoes possible, all that kind of stuff. It's springtime, so we would expect that in Tornado Alley. But more specifically on our critical events feature, this is a brand new feature in SONAR, you can see what types of assets such as oil refineries, ports, rails are in imminent threat of any kind of severe weather, whether it's winter weather, whether it's from tornadoes, whether it's from flooding, such as here in the St. Louis area where we're focusing on the map. So in the port of St. Louis, yes, there is still flooding along the Mississippi River. Right now, a moderate threat for more flooding today, hopefully getting better through the week. You can pull up a forecast to see how long the threat will last as far as number of days, temperature, and also wind forecast for the next several days. Really, really neat feature. Just to the south of St. Louis, Union Pacific has a track. They have a rail that goes through the city. And they've been closely monitoring this line that goes from St. Louis to Kansas City because of ongoing flooding. You know how long this flooding has been going on?
How long has the flooding been going on?
Too long. Too long.
Well,
Since I'd say since about late March to very early April.
Very disruptive in our heartland. Yes, absolutely.
So
and
much
man,
rain.
I feel like we have leveled up here with the SONAR 4.0. Literally, really, this is a big level up for our weather commentary.
Definitely stepping it up a notch, and it's great to be able to see these things and for folks to be able to use this new feature to make better decisions. Just great add-ons for weather. So that's what's happening today.
Thanks for showing it off a little bit on the really big screens here at TP19. Nick Austin, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't he look good on camera? All right, let's bring Zach Strickland. Zach Strickland, you are the next contestant on updating the market, FreightWaves right now. What is happening right now? What do you got looking at, man?
So you see I've got the outbound tender rejection index pulled up along with the volume, and they continue to be soft. So tender rejections are staying right down.
So it's a blue Monday for you, you're saying, Zach?
You keep wanting to put this emotion in me, and I'm just reporting the facts, Chad.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry for projecting.
Yeah. So volumes are actually still quite strong for this time of year. I mean, we're up approximately 0.3% year over year. Everybody thought 2018 was this huge, big year, and 2019 is still pretty strong in terms of volume. But carriers are probably not feeling it as much as you think they would.
Why is that?
Well, volatility is very low right now. You've got capacity in the places that it needs to be. We've got a lot shorter length of hauls going on too. So that means that the trucks are operating within a tight radius. They're operating very close, so they don't necessarily leave an area such as Los Angeles, which I don't know if you've heard about that market or not.
I've heard about it a time or two. So why are they doing like closer? Is this the new thing, or is there some other answer for why the shorter length of haul?
Well, the tariffs obviously have had a big impact in the market. So you had all this inventory come into the market over the last 6 months or so, and you have all this repositioning of freight throughout the country, where you would normally see that come in more evenly throughout the year. Starting about now, we would normally see this big kick up in container freight coming into the industry, into the market. Well, actually, it's kind of leveled off and started to smooth out. But
so we have some volatile markets.
We do have a few spots, and for carriers, they need to pay attention to areas where the outbound is outnumbering the inbound right now. And if we could sort that by the head haul index, head haul volatility. This is one of our new features in SONAR 4.0, Chad. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
Yeah.
That is so incredibly
This is a market volatility
cool.
chart. So what you see over there, all those green lines are the places where head haul values are increasing. So what that means is either inbound is decreasing rapidly in relation to outbound, or outbound is increasing in relation to inbound.
And green would be good.
Green is great for carriers.
Yeah.
And some of the markets that we're looking at, Columbus, Ohio, and Indianapolis, Indiana, are two of the biggest markets right now in terms of head haul value. So that means that carriers should be looking to position themselves in these markets right now. And they can do that using our new volatility.
Great insight and analysis from our leveled up SONAR platform, like it's on bigger screens and it is new and improved. Thank you so much for that analysis, Zach. Your name tag's upside down. Just FYI. And now, Dean Krogh, welcome to the stage, market expert, sir.
Hey.
Our Chief Insights Officer. How many people can claim to have a Chief Insights Officer? Well, we have one right here. What are we going to be talking about today?
So, Chad, I want to talk a little bit about new truck orders, retail sales, used truck sales, and capacity, because there's some interesting things happening with capacity as we head into the year. On the chart, you can see right there, we've got Class 8 truck orders. Now, if that's a one-year view, in the dark blue, you can see that Class 8 truck orders were up in the 60,000 trucks per month range this time last year.
Yes.
Now, we just recorded in March about a 12,000 volume. So, volumes of trucks being ordered are off about 70% year over year. And what happened last year, of course, the OEMs didn't increase their build rate. There were a limited number of slots, so last year carriers booked as many slots as they could get.
All a part of that capacity crunch.
Right. And of course, what's happened now is we've got 9 to 10 month backlog of trucks coming out of factories, same with trailers. What that means is that we expect an influx of trade-ins to hit the market sometime in the next few months. And once that starts to happen, we see truck prices start to change. You can see here with our 4-year-old trucks, the same for 3-year-olds and 5-year-old trucks, they all dropped off about 10% in the month of March.
Is this a proxy indicator of sorts for what we may be signaling for rates because of the tightening maybe of capacity?
Yeah.
With the sustained volumes?
Well, so with the rates, the rates going down, we look at truck prices in this way. As used truck prices going up, carriers are looking at that as a means to add more capacity to the industry. As rates come down, that's a sign that capacity is going to be loosening because there's less demand for trucks. So we see the Class 8 truck orders, starting to taper right off.
Okay.
They're dropping down. March marked the 4th consecutive months of decreased truck orders.
Yes.
So we expect that as used truck prices, this is the first time they've started to turn down in the last 12 months. We can see about a 10% drop in the 3, 4 and 5-year-old range. So we think that's a sign that maybe capacity is certainly going to start to loosen more than it is now, because if there's an influx of new trucks and used trucks hitting the market, trade cycles will be quicker, used truck inventories will build. What's really interesting, Chad, though, is when we look at the data from our partner at ACT Research, what it shows is that a lot of the orders from last year weren't necessarily for retail sales, they were for dealer inventory. So what that means is if dealers were overestimating demand for trucks and they put more orders in than we had retail sales, potentially what we've got is increased inventory heading into a summer when we've already got excess capacity, which could have an impact on new truck prices. So we're going to watch that very closely.
Okay.
But if we can throw up the next slide, I just want to talk about how we see the market, which is really interesting because the blue line is the outbound tender reject, which tracks spot rates almost identically. It's also our measure of capacity. So as the blue line is going down, capacity is increasing, which means carriers are rejecting fewer and fewer loads. They've got less optionality, less choices. The green line is the new truck orders. And you can see it kind of spiked on about a 3 to 4 month lag after capacity started to decrease last year.
Yeah.
So capacity is kind of running it down, in the same rate. Now, what's important is rates are really low. Spot rates are low, and the gap between contract and spot is widening as we go into the April-May period.
Okay.
Right, we've noticed that as we track the rates all through April. May has started off much the same way.
We have a developing situation.
And if we don't see the produce demand that we normally see, with rates so low, plenty of capacity in the market, potentially more new trucks hitting the market, more trade-ins, it's a dangerous combination in the summer if we don't see increased freight volume. So we're watching that really closely. New truck orders and used truck prices are a really good indicator of what we think is going to happen in the summer.
Okay, thank you for that analysis. You heard it right here That is what is happening right now on FreightWaves Now from the main stage at Transparency 19, because we want to keep bringing it to you as we promise each and every business day, rain or shine, the best we can. Thanks for tuning in, and share the love with us on social media. We're there, and we'd like to see you there. Be a part of what is happening. Get on board the freight train. It's going to go on with or without you. Might as well be a part of what is happening and everything. I'm blue, but I'm electric blue because there is so much excitement happening here with those theme colors at Transparency 19. And in the meantime, don't worry, be happy.